Welcome to episode 16 of Never Enough Gaming, and today I got James with me to discuss Bomberman 64.
Hello there.
Hello, and yeah, this is the first Bomberman game, and I think there's 3 other ones, but one's in Japan only. So
Yeah, there should just be 3 other games on the N64.
Yeah,
If I remember correctly.
have you played the Japanese one?
You know, I never have. Just unfortunately the ones that made it to the US.
Yeah, after this, I know I want to check out the other US ones, but I might even check out that Japanese one too, because why not?
Right.
So when did you first play this game?
So I would say I first played this game, this was be back in 1999. Recently got a N64. I played one of the other Bomberman games first, but one of my friends at school was like, "Hey, have you played Bomberman 64 yet? It has multiplayer." And that blew my mind. So I
The one
picked it
you
up
played
and
didn't? I'm sorry.
No, the first one I played was Bomberman Hero, which has no multiplayer. So to actually play a Bomberman game with a friend, I was like, oh bet, I'm definitely doing this.
Yeah, I'm sad I didn't try out the multiplayer on this one, but do you know if Second Attack has it?
Second Attack has one as well. And as much as I love the single player campaign for that one, I think Bomberman 64 definitely has the best multiplayer on the N64.
Okay, I might actually go back and play that with the kids, just because why not? I should have done that this time, but I didn't. But yeah, I mostly just stuck with the single player, which I liked a lot, and it was a lot shorter than I thought, but it's understandable why, because the whole game's about collecting all those cards, which there's 5 in each level, and
Right.
you get that bonus world, which is pretty much the real end game.
Yes. That very difficult bonus world.
Yeah, it looks difficult, and this game's not an easy game at all.
No, I spent so much time on a couple of levels just getting myself lost and trying to figure out some of the puzzles.
Oh yeah, I got lost a lot in this game, especially in the ice levels.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was playing on an emulator, so I always drop a save state at the beginning of the level,
Right.
just so you don't have to worry about loading and all that if I die. But there was a couple times, and a couple of the bosses, I did abuse save states a little bit, because it's a tough game.
Oh, it truly is. I want to say definitely I want to say the difficulty spike is definitely right in the middle.
Yeah. Because
after you.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, because that first world is so basic. Even the enemies just kind of walk back and forth.
Yeah, that first world, it just kind of, even the first level in the first world just kind of feels like that kind of test level.
Right.
Like there's just random stairs that lead to nothing, floating blocks just teach you the mechanics, and then you go to world 2. I'm like, this is where the game begins. Okay.
Right. And even with the first level, you can already find super secret stuff. I know the one path I went to had a secret area, but to reach it, you had to bounce off your own bombs. And
Oh yeah.
it's so difficult to do. I blew myself up so much. If I didn't have save states, I don't know if I could have ever done that. But, I probably just have to get good. Or it's probably easier if you had the remote bombs, actually.
Oh yeah, once you find the remote bombs, all the puzzle difficulty it goes way down for a lot of these puzzles.
Yeah, it makes it pretty easy. And I love those remote bombs. They just feel so good using.
Oh, it's the best feeling. You just get to set it down. Has a cool sprite to it that the normal bombs don't.
Yeah.
Oh, it just feels so good, just to remotely control them.
And they glow and look shiny.
Yeah, exactly. What's not to love?
Exactly. And I love how cheery this game is too. Like the first level was so happy and friendly, and like yeah, like we said, even the creatures aren't even attacking you. You're just kind of coming in and bombing them. It's kind of messed up.
Right, like at most they kind of just stun you for a second. Nothing really deals you damage in the first level.
Right. Does cussing bother you? Vulgarity?
Oh, not at all.
Alright, cool. I don't have to hold back. Awesome. One thing, so the first level was called, well actually, let's talk about the intro. So, these four guys, well you called them, you said they're called the Mass Trio?
Yeah, I know. I had to go and like double check what they were called, and that was the only thing I found online was that they were called the Mass Trio. I wish I could remember what I called them when I was a kid, but annoying, I guess, most likely for half of them.
Yeah. So they take over planets to power this cube, and they like drain its energy. And you know, Bomberman's planet's next. And what is the name of the planet? Isn't it just like Planet Bomber?
Yeah, it's just like Planet Bomber.
Yeah, awesome. The level names are weird in this game. Like, I don't know. The first level is called Untouchable Treasure, and which I guess kind of makes sense. I don't really know, but I kind of like, even though the enemies are simple here, you can still kind of get lost. Like, it's a little open. But,
oh, yeah.
And it took me by surprise. I thought it was going to be a really linear game. Yeah, but because I played a couple. Oh, sorry, yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, to find all those collectibles, it definitely becomes a lot less linear, having to like just find like the secret behind a waterfall or something on the first level.
I mean, the first time through the first level, you know, you can beat it in like 4 minutes. But I think when I was looking for everything, I probably spent like 20 minutes in there. Yeah. Let's see. So, yeah, this place is just kind of, it's your Green Hill Zone. And it even kind of looks, green fields. And there's some, like, ruins. You get your tutorials here. Do you know the name of your mentor guy?
Sirius, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, he is here. And he has, like, cool, badass armor on. And he guides you. You just have to walk around finding these 4 different tiles to step on. And so there are these doors with your alligator heads, and you have to blow them open. That took me a long time to figure out you had to bomb them. I was sitting there looking around trying to figure out where to go, and my son comes in. He's like, "Why don't you just, have you bombed that?" I'm like, "Oh, no." And yeah. Sometimes you just overthink.
I mean, that's fair. Like, the first thing you have to do is find some switches in the first room, so you're like, oh, there's got to be a switch around here to open the door, too, right?
Right.
No, I did the same thing, like, the first time I played it through, too. I was like, there's got to be a switch around here somewhere.
Yeah, you just have to blow it up. Which makes sense. You're fucking Bomberman.
Exactly.
Like, there's in the snow area, there's a part where you have to blow up some, like, scaffolding. And that took me forever. He had to bring down, like, the foundation of this little structure.
Oh, yeah.
I had to look that up, actually, because I was just so lost. So after this, you have a little mini-boss. Every second level of a world is kind of a classic Bomberman fight. And I like that a lot. I like these fights. Sometimes they can go on for a little bit, depending on, how lucky you get. But there's been times I've ended these fights in like a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this one could be pretty quick. I don't think he does anything too unique. I know he'll drop bombs. He might be able to kick them at you, but
I think all he really does is just like throw and kick a bomb. He doesn't do anything too special. Yeah. I guess.
Not yet.
Not yet.
And with the weird level names, next is To Have or Have Not. And this level, I got lost here again. I probably got lost in damn near every level, except for the lava levels. I think I got those down. But, yeah, you have to chase this little crystal, and this bird keeps flying off with it. Well, not bird, it's some flying creature. But,
yeah.
And you get some story here. Your mentor, well, Sirius, you said?
Yes.
He tells you the person behind this is Altair. I think that's his name.
Altair.
Al-
I think that Altair.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's draining planets' power or energy to power up the Omni Cube, which apparently holds the power to rule the universe. So, yeah,
Classic.
right. And this is a little temple area. You just got to make your way to the top, but it's pretty easy to get lost. Introduces you to little puzzles like kicking bombs under areas to raise platforms,
Right.
little stuff like that.
And then also like I'm not sure if you found it, but there's a hidden door as well at the back of the temple. If you walk to it should be the last room that you get to. If you go all the way to the end on the first floor, it just looks like a normal wall. You just press yourself up against it. It's a door, and there's a hidden room.
What's in there?
I believe it's one of the gold cards that you need. One of the
Okay,
collectibles.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much I missed. I didn't give myself enough time, honestly, with this game. I just beat it, didn't even do the bonus world. I feel bad. Usually I'm better than this. But up next is the Winged Guardian, and
Ooh, yes.
this is your first big boss, and he's a big just dragon, really. Yeah. And I like the arena you're on. It's a little broken bridge. I think it can only go left and right on here.
Yeah, mostly just left and right.
Yeah. And he flies above you, breathing fire. He killed me a couple times, but, his pattern gets pretty easy. And
Right.
all the bosses kind of work the same, which I kind of like. You just kind of gotta wait till you see their weak spot, which usually is their head. Or I think some of the bosses, like the big robot, you can hit anywhere, maybe. But
Yeah, you can hit the big robot just about anywhere, and depending on where you do, but
yeah,
changes how he fights you.
right. Yeah. What's your tactic usually?
So for the dragon, I usually wait for him to just kind of fly underneath. He does this non-threatening flyby.
Right. Yeah.
Literally couldn't touch you. I just toss a bomb there. I learned, I think the last time I played through, was when he flies at you to kind of flap his wings and push you off. That throwing the bomb there will get you blown up more often than not.
Oh yeah, definitely. Most of my deaths that came from bosses was either me blowing myself up when I just triggered the bomb too late or early. I mean, or falling off the platform, especially in the sewer level or the fish boss.
Ooh, oh yes.
Yeah,
Too many times.
definitely. Because it's kind of weird. I noticed with even bridges kind of later in the game. I don't know if it was just me, but I fell off all the time.
Yeah, for being I guess the first 3D Bomberman game, the controls definitely feel a little clunky when you need to be on this precise walkway. Oh, I'm definitely gonna fall here.
Yeah,
it's just gonna happen.
But one thing I will praise about that is the camera. The camera's great because you can actually turn it wherever you want.
Oh yeah.
Which oh, good.
Just free control of being able to see was playing something like Mario 64 where the camera kind of felt a little clunky, and then playing Bomberman 64, I was like, man, this is just amazing.
Yeah, you're really restricted at that camera in Mario 64.
Oh yeah.
But I think you can always turn it here, with the exception of your camera gets a little weird in one of the ice levels, but
yeah,
when it goes under it, we'll talk about it.
Right.
So, yeah, World 2. This world is kind of I think you're on a castle for most of it, or a fortress type area.
Yeah.
So
it's this fortress in the middle of the sea kind of feel.
Yeah. this level's pretty big, actually. And you start getting enemies with rifles that will shoot at you. And there's also cannons that will shoot at you, which killed me more times than I'd like to admit. And as
those cans will get you.
Definitely.
Oh, they get me.
I think the only way to blow them up, you have to pump up your bomb all the way. I think.
Yeah, you have to. By this point, you kind of have to learn to use like the pumped up big bombs, because there's certain puzzles and enemies that no longer can be hit by a normal size bomb.
Yeah, and I pretty much only used the pumped up ones. I always tried to have one because I couldn't really figure out the detonation with the bombs. With the regular bombs, does the timer start after you throw them?
Yeah, the timer should start after you throw them.
Okay. I never wanted to hold on to them for long, so I never did, and I was never sure.
That's completely fair. I mean, like, you're standing there holding a bomb, like, it's kind of fight or flight, like,
Right.
we should probably just toss this.
Yeah. Yeah. And once again, soundtrack is awesome. This game has great, catchy music.
Oh, it's amazing.
And, I played quite a few of Nintendo 64 games for the show now. And that's one thing I noticed is damn near every 64 game just has awesome, catchy music.
Oh, yeah, no. Nintendo 64 is definitely, like, peak video game music, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
It's just so catchy. It's just something I'm not going to lie, while I'm working, I'll just kind of have some on in the background all the time.
Oh, yeah, I've listened to some Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack while at work before.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And after this, you get to the mid-boss, Artemis. And this was like my real first big challenge in the game. Took me quite a few tries. Because he shoots at you, and he's pretty accurate with this thing he shoots at you. I think it's like a little laser or something.
Oh, yeah, I always kind of thought they were like little daggers, like little flaming daggers. It's kind of hard to tell in like early N64 games what smaller objects are supposed to be.
Right. I think the daggers would probably make more sense. But I noticed that this is where my strategy of running around in circles and dropping random bombs doesn't really help.
Right, because like one of those daggers might just fly and detonate a bomb too early, and that's it.
Yeah. And you especially have to learn not to just depend on that later whenever you get the one boss that targets the machine gun at you. Oh, man.
Oh.
Yeah. So next is... Oh, what was you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, there is also an alternate way of beating Artemis as well. If you manage to... And it definitely took me, I want to say 45 minutes in a fight with them to do this. If you hold a bomb underneath them when they like jump up in the air, throw little daggers at you, if they fall in the bomb, you can kind of guide them into the water, and they'll fall in.
Really?
Yeah,
It is hard to do, though.
Oh yeah, I had to have a whole free day to myself and be like, I could do this. I can figure this out. It was quite the challenge.
Is it kind of like random, or do you just have to know exactly how to do it?
It's more like kind of knowing exactly how the physics of like bouncing on top of a bomb can be. Because like at first I was like, oh, I'll just like move a little bit forward each time, and like nope, bouncing the bomb, got back on the ground, started kicking bombs at me. I'm like, okay, let's try a little bit further. Then went too far, landed on top of my head, got stunned, got hit. It was lots of trial and error, I'd say.
Yeah. The bomb bouncing mechanic is so weird. There's a level later where I messed with the bomb physics a lot, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. I don't know. I couldn't get it. I just kept blowing myself up when I was trying to do certain things. That. Yeah. But, and I see people do it on video, and they make it look so easy. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Yeah.
I've played through so many of these levels so many times, and each time I'm just like, man, one day I'm going to finally learn how this really works, instead of like so much just cheese trying to get from one platform to another.
Right. Yeah, that subway level later.
Ooh.
That was my playground of trying to figure out how I can use these bombs.
Okay.
So,
The subway level.
huh?
Like the one like much later on, right?
Yeah,
Like towards the end.
where the trains are coming at you.
Yes.
Yeah. So next is Pump It Up, and it's kind of like the first level of this world. You're just kind of pushing switches and draining water, and once again got lost. But oh right, there's a wall that you have to hit with bombs and push it back, and
Yeah.
that took me forever to figure out, like that I had to hit that with bombs. And at this point, I should have learned that I should be bombing everything, but I still didn't fucking learn.
Did you manage to find the red bomb power up when you did it?
Which one did that do? Or
So the red bomb is like it's like double strength. So like a standard normal size red bomb, if you can find it. I'm pretty sure it's in the most obscure block in the room where you have to move the wall. But the standard size bomb is the same like strength as a pumped up bomb. So if you
Okay.
make the pumped up red bomb,
Ooh.
it makes moving that wall so much easier.
Oh, I bet. I would have probably blown myself up if I got it anyway.
Oh, every time. The explosion's huge too.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the older Bomberman games?
A good bit of them.
Okay. Those are the ones I'm used to. I played like the very original NES one once, and I think I played like Super Bomberman. I really enjoyed them, but I wasn't good at them, but I liked them.
Me and one of my neighbors used to play Super Powerman a lot. She had the Super Nintendo, so that was the only way I could actually play that was just to go over and visit.
Yeah.
And I want to say it took about half of our childhood to get through the first world. That game, that game definitely tests you.
Yeah, you can easily get trapped and just killed, and the good old-fashioned life system.
Oh yeah, and the passwords too. Got it. That was part of the issue. Is if we died on World 1-3, it's like, oh, we got to write down the password. Well, that's gone. We're children. That piece of paper's long gone.
Oh yeah. Good stuff. Good times.
Mm-hmm. Classic times.
So, next is Sewer Savage, which is a boss. It's a giant fish, and I had a lot of trouble with this boss at first.
Oh, I still have trouble with that boss, even nowadays.
Yeah, it probably took me probably the part that took me the most attempts in the whole game. I don't know, I just couldn't figure out how to hit him right. And then I finally figured it out, because this guy, it's kind of tough to see if you're, like, doing the right thing. There's kind of a lot going on in the stage. You're on a little raft, and he'll what will he do? He'll slam his, like, spiky antenna thing on you.
Yeah, and try and squish you, and...
Yeah, he'll also cut your platform, which is really cool, but not fun.
Oh, no, not even close. Once you get him mad, he just swims past you and throws what looks like these little water blades at you, and you're like, man, I hope I don't lose my raft.
Right. I know one time I beat him with, like, almost all my raft intact, but one time I beat him with one little sliver intact, which was kind of cool.
That's the accomplishment. Both of those are accomplishment, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, you still have the whole raft. Good job.
No, not the whole
Oh,
raft.
you didn't have the whole raft? Okay,
no.
okay.
It was like, I think I got him to hit, like, one small spot on the side, like the smallest spot. But no, it wasn't whole. Can you even do that whole without him cutting your raft at all? Because he would have to not even get to that move, I think.
I have not particularly tried.
I'm sure there are speed runs.
Oh, yeah.
I bet speed runs are insane for this game. Kind of
bet.
Check it out. But yeah, this boss is cool. He also has a fucking attack where he splashes water on the raft and it'll push you off, and that killed me a lot.
That is usually what kills me against him as well.
Yeah.
You'd think it'd be him trying to squash you or him trying to drown you. No, it's him flipping his fins at you and pushing you.
Yep. His normal like slam attack's pretty easy to dodge once you get it, but unless you're trying to throw a bomb at him while he's doing it.
Right.
But yep. Then we got
They'll
World.
just deflect the bomb at you.
Yeah. Yeah, I replayed the bosses quite a bit in this game. Boss fights are one of my favorite things in games, so...
They're just such good bosses, too.
Yeah, exactly. I like the environment of the boss. Like, I like that little raft you're on, and I like the little bridge structure thing you're on the first boss, but...
like the ancient ruins bridge, the raft, and then... Yeah. Ooh, I'm assuming we're about to talk about the volcano for the next one.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. Hot on the Trail. I hate this level, and I love it at the same time. But
I'm glad you share the same opinion. That was, you mentioned getting lost on the castle level. The volcano is where I always get lost.
Yeah, the snow world was my maze, but yeah, this level, the reason I hated it but loved it, it's just those damn fireballs, man.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't be, if I stopped paying attention for half a second, I'd end up dead, because you really got to pay attention to what you're doing. And this also has those enemies that look like stalagmites, I think they're called.
Oh yeah.
And they pop open and shoot fire at you. But some of them are like right in your path. It's just an asshole level.
Right, you're just like, oh, that's just part of the environment. There's nothing happening here. Place a bomb, spits fire at the bomb.
And, yep.
Why am I dead?
Mm-hmm. But it looks great.
Oh yeah, it does.
Mm-hmm. Next you fight Orion, and I usually can beat him pretty fast, but he does have some annoying moves. He can hit you with that blast that knocks you out a lot. And
right, and then he throws into the lava.
Right, he'll just straight up pick you up and throw you in the lava. It's fucked up.
It's the most disrespectful thing. Everyone else is like, man, I got cool moves and bombs, and he's like,
nah, no respect. I don't have time for this shit.
I have a schedule to keep.
Right. But yeah, it's a fun boss. My running in circles and dropping bombs actually worked with this guy.
Yeah, I think I always used to try just trying to kick the bomb at him, just trying to get as far away as I can, and then just be like, oh, we'll just try and stun lock him with a kick.
Right.
As well as we can.
So next is On the Right Track, and I like this level a lot. I got a little lost here. You can, like, drop down off these tracks to get the lower parts of the level, and you don't, there's no fall damage.
No.
So, you can just plummet down.
Take the leap of faith.
Yeah.
This is probably my favorite level in the entire game, honestly.
It's one of my favorites, too. Yeah.
It's definitely the biggest level. It gives you the most to explore.
Definitely.
And honestly, walking around the train tracks was just like, oh man, there's so much happening here.
Yeah, because you're avoiding mine carts, and there's enemies that'll chase you with pickaxes, and there's not a lot of enemies that really chase you, but they do here.
Well, yeah, like they're just trying to work, and you just walk up, and they're like, nope, gotta get this guy out of here.
True. Towards the end of the level, there's these support beams you have to blow up, and I could not figure out that I had to blow those up. I ended up having to look it up. It's always the dumbest shit I end up having to look up.
It's always just the bombs. When in doubt, just bomb it.
Right, yeah. I'll take that lesson to the next games with me. Bomb everything. This next boss, I love this boss. It's one of my favorite bosses.
Oh
But
yeah.
oh yeah, I like this fight a lot. I like getting his pattern down, and after fighting the fish boss, I had more trouble with the fish boss than this guy. Did you have trouble with this guy?
So, the fun story. When I first was doing a playthrough of Bomberman 64 when I was a kid, I want to say I spent my entire summer vacation figuring out how to beat him. It was just beyond me for the longest time. I'm like, he spins, he shoots fire, he goes in lava. What do I? He's got the most health
Yeah.
out of all of the big bosses in the game, and I'm just like, no, shit.
And he has a lot of, like you said, different moves you have to avoid.
Yeah, like if you blow up his arms, he stops spinning, and then he like relies on more lasers or relies on more fireballs, and like,
Yeah. I think it's a cool aspect of it. But
oh yeah, no, he's definitely the most interactive boss. Like, I guess maybe other than the fish, which is probably why they are the coolest bosses.
yeah. But yeah, this guy is tough. All the bosses are actually kind of tough, except for, well, it depends how lucky you get with the trio, really.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this guy's also called the Hot Avenger. So, what a level is. I don't know if that's also his name, but
I think his name is supposed to be Hades, but I believe the reference for Hot Avenger is the fact that, like, when you beat Orion the first time, he doesn't, like, he just kind of flies up in the air from an explosion, and then, like, when you start this boss fight, you just kind of see him in the cockpit.
right, yeah.
It's like, oh, he's going to get his revenge.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see about that.
Do these guys, is the sequel pick up where this left off? I assume? Like, story-wise?
So, the sequel... The guidebooks will kind of mention the fact that, like, this happened, but it's more the fact that, like, a character coming up is incredibly relevant in the sequel.
Okay. So, next world is Blizzard Peaks. And
yes.
this level, same with the first level of the lava world, I hate and love it at the same time. Because
Was it the wind for you?
Yeah.
By chance? Yeah.
it's not really too bad. Like, it doesn't mess you up. It's just so tedious.
Yeah, like... Oh, excuse me. I'm just trying to solve a puzzle, and, like, my bomb just moves to the side. I'm like, well, now I gotta wait for the wind to stop and
Right.
place another bomb.
I do like that you can, like, climb up the mountain and stuff, up the steep part, kinda. You're just kinda
Yeah.
all over this mountain, really.
Like, it feels like when you get to the top, like, a real accomplishment. Like, oh man, I climbed this actual mountain.
Right. Especially
Because-
all the damn wind.
All the wind, and, like, if you stop for just a second on any of the inclines, like, you just start to slide back down.
Yep.
So when you place your bombs there too, they'll also just start to slide.
Which, can kill you too.
Often,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about 90% of my deaths came from blowing myself up. But,
Oh yeah, like, you're your own worst enemy in this game.
Yep.
Like, if the bosses don't do it, I'll do it myself.
exactly. But yeah, I always like the way winter levels look. That's one of my favorite themes in games. And I think these 3D well, it's not really a platformer because you don't jump, but
Right.
3D adventure game? I don't know what you call it.
I think 3D adventure game's a good description.
Yeah. But they always have good themes in their worlds, I think. They always look nice. But there's always... It follows the pattern. There's always, like, an ice world and a fire world. The first
Yeah.
world's usually, like, green and...
There's a water world and
yeah.
a cyberpunk world, sort of, and
Mm-hmm. Then
you
you
see-
get your bonus Rainbow Castle world.
yes, you get the Rainbow Castle if you collect all the gold cards.
yeah.
Which I do have to say, when you said that, like, the ice world is usually your favorite, I I think that Bomberman 64 is what is ingrained in me that the ice world is usually my least favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess it's the third level in this world that gets you, or that gets me.
Yeah, it's a tough level. Yeah, we'll get to it.
Oh, yes.
I had a lot of problems with it. So next is Regulus, and there's nothing too special about him. He's pretty easy. I think I took him out pretty fast. I'm trying to think if he does anything special that the other guys don't. I'm sure he does, but
he'll charge at you, and if he hits you, he like kind of looks like he slashes at you, but like that's really about it.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to the other trio fights.
Yeah, they all just have like the one move.
Yeah. So next is Shiny, Slippy, Icy Floor.
Yes.
Luckily, the icy floors aren't too slippery.
Well,
like, not as bad as they could be compared to other, like, ice
that's
level.
true.
Yeah. But
that's true.
It looks nice.
Oh, it looks nice. The music is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love the Ice World music.
Yeah.
As much as I don't love ice levels, man, they got the best music.
I feel the same with water levels.
9 out of 10 times. That's a respectable opinion. Water levels also have some fantastic music.
Definitely. So this level is, you're on ice for just about all of it, if not all of it, maybe.
Right.
But there's lots of spots you can slip off and fall to your death. There's a certain, I think there's 2 specific parts where the camera goes underneath you. And
yes.
You can't really look to your side to see exactly where you're going. And if you don't know what you're doing or where you're going, like I did the first time playing this,
right.
I was so frustrated with it.
There is so much trial and error on this level.
There is.
Just like, I'm pretty sure I have to take a left here. Oh, it was a right. I'm now falling.
And there's the part where you get to the top of this ice part, and there's a steep hill, so you have to slide down and get momentum to slide up the other side.
Oh, yes.
There's holes in the ice where you'll fall to your death. And you can't really get a good view of where you're sliding to, because you're going fast.
Right.
And there's one specific area you have to reach, so I think I fell through holes like 3 or 4 times on that part.
This is definitely the level that, other than boss fights, I also would probably say I have the highest death count on.
Oh yeah, is this... It's either this or the fish where I died the most. It's probably this level, actually. But I also got lost here, too. Not only did I die a lot, but I got lost.
I mean, like, with the camera kind of, like, going underneath you in some areas, like...
It's the only part of the game where you can't move your camera, too.
Yes. So you're kind of just actually at the will of the camera. It's actually the secret boss, I'm not sure if you knew that.
Yeah.
Was the camera on the ice level 3.
Because the actual boss is pretty easy. And there's also enemies attacking you while you're doing that. So that's nice.
Yeah, the snowmen and like the little bunny rabbits.
Yep.
Yep.
It's not good. It's a rough level. I feel like if I was a kid playing this, I probably would have put it down. Here.
Yeah.
At least for a while.
It was definitely the level that I made me put it down a couple times. But like when you get to the slide part and like you find the right spot, you slide down, go up the next ramp with the momentum, come back down, like
if you know what you're doing, it can feel very satisfying.
I definitely, the first time I did that, called up all my friends and was like, "You're not going to believe what I just did."
Hell yeah.
It was that kind of moment once you finally get it done.
And the thing is, like, luckily, each level, if you just speed through it without even searching, it's like 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
If you really want to just blaze through it. So it's not like you have a lot in a level to remember.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice.
It's just if you're trying to find those like hidden collectibles for like the customization mode or like the gold cards for the secret level, like oh man, trying to hunt down the gold cards on that level was something.
Oh, I bet. I didn't even try to do that on that level, so I bet it was difficult. Yeah, I searched around as best as I could without looking stuff up. I did follow, like, I did look up stuff for the first, like, 2 levels or so, and then I was like, I don't want to do it like this. So I just looked around the best I could, but I missed probably a lot. So yeah, fuck that level. And next is Cold Killers, and I like this boss a lot. It's a giant ice spider, and it's probably the easiest boss, maybe, because
I would say so.
Yeah, there's not really too much you have to worry about. He has a slash attack he does with his leg, but it's a very small area that it attacks.
Right.
And you just have to get under him. I like that. You have to run under him and throw bombs and blow him up that way. And when he hit his head, like he has a mask on, and you see like a skull, which is pretty cool looking.
Oh yeah, that nice little touch they added there.
Yeah, and the stage breaks after he gets to 1 health, which I don't think any other boss does. So
no, none of the other bosses like really have like a final mode when like they get down super low HP.
Yeah, you'll get like a phase 2, but
yeah, but like when you fall down into what looks like an icy spider web,
it's pretty cool.
Ooh, it gives me chills thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, spiders in real life are the one thing I'm terrified of. So
yeah, a little kid me being like, man, that's a giant ice spider.
Nah, I'm good.
I'm good. We're just gonna deal with this one real fast.
Yeah. So yeah, easy fun boss. And we're blazing through this game. Well, we're at 43 minutes. That's pretty good for this little game.
That's not too bad.
So, World 5, the Black Fortress, and this level's Go for Broke, and I love this level. It's
same.
One of my favorite levels in the game, and it's a good spot to really figure out how your bomb physics work, because the setup is you're in a subway tunnel and you have to avoid trains coming at you, but there's gaps in the floor, so you have to go up and around on these like catwalks to get across. But you can place your bombs in those gaps so you can bounce across, and I did that a couple times, but I couldn't
couldn't keep it going.
No, I could not keep. No, could you?
I definitely couldn't. After a certain point, I was like, it's probably just easier to go like above the tracks, get the collectibles if there's any up there.
Yeah,
and then, oh man, the fact that like you can't fully see what's coming ahead in this level. Like you can't tilt the camera down to see the trains coming at you. You have to like see like the lights of the train just a couple seconds before they hit.
Yeah, because I think they kind of pop in frame, like kind of out of nowhere, really.
Yeah.
And by that, you only have a little bit of time to move. So if you're sitting there messing with bombs, you're gonna get hit.
You also can't really interact with them. Like you can't throw a bomb at them and break them.
No.
So like, there's no saving yourself if there's coming at you other than just walking to the side. But when you're in that little trench and you're trying to bounce across and you're at the mercy of the bomb bounce, you're playing a risky game. But man, the payoff's good.
Yeah, it feels great when you do it, and it makes you feel badass. Like, yeah, I just did that.
Oh yeah. Like, oh yeah, this is so cool.
I saved myself 15 seconds of time. Cool.
With enough gaps, like it adds up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially if you're trying to speed run, you know.
Right.
But yeah, this level's great. There's a lot of the enemies start getting pretty hard here. You get a lot of enemies that are shooting at you.
Yeah, there's like some what looks like little gun turrets also that can kind of lock onto you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Which can suck if you're holding a bomb, or if there's a bomb next to you, they'll blow it up and blow you up.
yeah, so you can't like leave a whole trail of bombs.
Yeah.
Like you could most of the game because something is going to detonate one too soon.
Yep.
And that's it.
And you get a boss at the end of this level. Well,
yeah.
This guy's tough.
He is actually like
Until you figure out how the machine gun that's following you works, like how to exactly avoid it. It took me a few deaths to figure out, but yeah, there's a machine gun that, and you can see its crosshairs and it'll lock onto you, and there's two parts of like a machine that deploys little minions at you, and I think they can deploy like 5 or 6 can be in the map with you, the arena.
I want to say that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah, so they can get in your way. So I was just leaving bombs everywhere, but you can't. It's hard to do that because with the machine gun shooting at you, you drop a bomb at the wrong time, you're dead.
Right. I definitely remember having quite a bit of difficulty with this.
Yeah, I have in my notes, which that sounds right. This is where I use save states the most. Was this guy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's fair, honestly. Like, it's the first time you get like a end of level boss,
right. Yeah,
and it feels like a boss. It's like this is a challenge. You're on the quote unquote last level. Like, oh, we're ramping it up now.
Yep, and there's just so much to avoid in this arena. And honestly, like, it can kind of be bad if you have fully upgraded explosions sometimes, depending where you are in the game. Like,
yeah, like there's actually a real reason to not fully max out your flames, just because like the arena isn't exactly the biggest one for as many entities that are on it.
right, yeah. But also sometimes it feels so good when you just drop a line of bombs and it takes out like 4 guys in one just explosion.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. And the level after this is another boss. I like this boss a lot. One of my favorites. It's a mech, and you're kind of in a huge arena, and it'll shoot missiles at you, and it will shoot this weird light cube that will put you in slow-mo. And
Oh yeah.
which makes it really difficult to deal with the missiles coming at you, because they're not really guided, but they're like half guided. They sort of target you.
Yeah, like they'll go in your general direction.
Yeah. And this
Generally,
thing's called the high-tech harvester, because why not?
it's fitting.
Yeah, this whole world's been, techie.
It's also like the first like what feels like an end of level boss in like the mid boss room.
Right. Yeah, usually you would have a one of the little classic Bomberman showdowns here.
Yeah, but instead you get like this super cool mech.
Yeah. And
I remember the first time playing through it being like, wait a second, this isn't who I thought I'd be fighting.
this isn't right at all.
Nope. It made me so excited for everything else that happens in this world.
Right. Because next level, I want to know how you feel about this level, the trap tower.
Woo!
Do you like it?
Okay, conceptually I love it. The idea of this level is so cool.
And so different from what you've done so far.
Yeah. And then because it's on the N64 and an early N64 game at that, the concept is there and the execution is wonky, I guess would be a word I'd use.
Yeah.
I got lost so many times on this one.
Me too. There's this. It's a security level. There's security lasers and security floors that will. What do the floors do if you step on the red?
I remember the alarm going off.
Yeah. I think.
I think some of the elevators become inaccessible.
Right, yeah. So I think you have to do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there will be these floor tiles that will go from green to blue, and you have to step on them at the right time, and it's kind of difficult. Especially that one where you have the whole floor is covered in them, and you have to follow a specific path, and that's pretty rough.
I still kind of remember like that. What sort of sounds like a little laser sound effect for when the tiles are changing too.
Yeah.
It's like burned in my memory having to listen to it.
Yeah, me too, because it's... I don't know. I don't think you're going to do this in one try. I'd like to see someone do that.
As someone that's played it many a time, I couldn't. If I... In my wildest dreams, it's indeed a hard level.
It takes some focus.
It takes a lot of focus.
Yep.
It takes a lot of practice. It is... Okay, it's still super cool, but it is so difficult.
Yeah, it's cool because it's, variety. It's pretty different than all the other levels you've done.
Right.
But you're also dodging lasers that go off and on. That'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also kind of a maze aspect to it at one point, where you have different directions and different floor parts to step on with your switches, and yeah.
Like, it really feels like a evil boss's last-ditch effort to not have the hero show up. It's super just...
Yeah.
Has that vibe, that feeling. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Good level.
Great level.
Difficult
I love
level.
it. Incredibly difficult. 5 stars.
Yep. So next is Altair. And this will be...
boy.
Well, this is my final boss. Not the real final boss. But, yeah, he's tough. He has a laser turret that will target you. And that thing will fuck you up. It's kind of hard to avoid.
Oh, yeah, the little minion guy.
Yeah, you have to...
He has with him.
You have to really time your bombs.
Yeah, because I think it's the only time that you have a 2v1 situation where here's the boss. Also, the boss brought his best friend.
Right. It's
His
like
best friend shoots lasers.
Floating laser turret. Which,
yeah.
After phase 1, he, fuses with it. And
oh, yes.
Now
it's so cool.
Yeah, he's super fast, and he can teleport, and it is tough.
Yeah, he throws out, this little purple, what looks like a little air slash, and it just stuns you. He'll teleport behind you and throw you. Okay, he also does the throw you gimmick, just like a...
Oh, right. Yeah. And if you're trying to just drop random bombs, he just teleports until they all blow up. So you really got to strategize by kicking him into him, trying to figure out where he's going to, teleport to. It's a good boss.
For what is the quote unquote final boss, it is super good because having to learn his teleportation timer, making sure you can kick it into him.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I would kick bomb at him, stun him, and
yeah, me too. And it took me, I don't know why, it took me too long to figure out that's what I should have been doing. But I think, yeah, if you die during phase 2, you have to restart the whole fight.
Yes.
So, yeah, you can be stuck here for a while. So once you beat him, the blue guy comes in and saves him. What was his?
Regulus, yeah.
Regulus, yeah. And he flies off, and the place kind of blows up, and shit, what was his name? Sirius, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he comes in and saves you and drops you off, and everything's happy. Right. But if you go back and get all 100 cards, there's 5 in each level, you can get access to the final world. And it's
yes,
like a rainbow castle. I mean, the first level is called Rainbow Palace, so
yeah,
it's like some floating islands that are connected by rainbow bridges.
By hopes and dreams, I imagine.
Oh yeah, that sounds more more like it. Yeah. So it's a nice progressive place.
Yes. The only thing is that it's actually also a nightmare land because the difficulty, the when I said earlier there's a difficulty spike in the middle, it's nothing compared to like the secret hit Sixth World.
Oh yeah. From what I've seen gameplay wise, it looks pretty tough, and yeah, the final boss and even the Spellmaker boss look pretty tough.
The thing about the Spellmaker boss is that when you fight all the other big bosses, Sirius just kind of comes in, he's like, here, take this remote control bomb, I'm gonna let you do the work.
Yeah.
He doesn't here.
Alright, okay.
He has betrayed you.
Yep. You have been betrayed by your mentor. Sad stuff.
Yeah. If you collect all the gold cards, you fight Altair again. Sirius comes in, stops him from escaping, shoots a laser at Altair, just kind of deleting him, taking the cube, and then being like, haha, I was
Using
the
you the
evil
whole
mastermind the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, apparently they stole it from him, and then you stole it from them, back to him.
Yep.
For him, on accident.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Omnicube. So then the Spellmaker, and this boss is awesome. I'm probably actually going to go back just so I can fight him in the final boss, just because I want to fight the Spellmaker specifically. It looks really cool. Looks like he draws like different cards, kinda, and that determines his attack.
Yeah, I think they're based on tarot cards, so like he'll draw a card and like that'll be the special move he does.
He has so many attacks.
He does.
He attacks with his shadow, he breathes fire, he'll summon straight up master hands to smash you.
Yeah, he's got the scythe, and in fact I think at one point he can even turn like the room invisible, so you can kind of see like the space around it.
That's
and there's
cool.
just like falling stars coming through, and you're just like, oh, we gotta run around a lot. Can't place a bomb. I will die.
Oh yeah, it's difficult. This is probably one of those take you 10 tries the first time you play it.
Oh yeah.
But he's cool, very cool.
He is super cool. And one thing I was just realizing, like thinking about it, was like he has voice acting for when you start the fight as well.
Oh, that's like the only time you get that, right?
You get a couple more. I say a couple as in, I believe 2 times, both with Altair at the beginning of his fight and at the end. But when
Right.
you fight the Spellmaker, it starts like a close-up of his mask, and the mask kind of like floats to like the rest of his body, and he kind of says in like the evil gesture tone, like welcome, and he bows to you, and that's where the fight starts.
That's
It
cool.
isn't much, but like for the N64 to have any amount of voice acting that doesn't sound fuzzy.
And it's kind of the intro too. Like even the other bosses, you don't really get a cool intro like that, really.
Yeah, like no one really talks to you. This guy literally
Right,
welcomes
yeah.
you. But he was being facetious the whole time. He definitely does not want you to be there.
Right, yeah. And then the level after this, you're in like looks like the grand hall of like a castle, kinda.
Yeah.
I didn't really see much of this. Do you have much to say about this level?
So the story I had with the volcano boss taking me an entire summer vacation to fight a boss, this one definitely took me an entire summer vacation the next year trying to figure it out. Like it's sort of like the first level in the first world where you have to flip the 4 switches.
Okay.
Except these switches are way more difficult to get to.
Right. Made us hard to find. We're like surrounded by enemies, and we're both.
It's the bomb physics. You have to like kind of
Oh.
bounce around. You have to find a point where you can start like the little chain reaction to bounce to the next platform.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's there's no way to solve a level without using the bomb physics on like each point.
And that's just, when you're first trying to figure that. I mean, if you got all the cards, you should at least know
Yeah.
the basics of it then.
Right.
But even then, sometimes you'll blow yourself up on accident. It'll happen.
Yeah. Like, it's definitely a great final level to be like, okay, what have you learned? Because, like, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna need it if you want to progress at all.
Right, yeah. So then, there's the final battle where you fight Sirius. And
Yes.
this is really cool because Regulus is a blue guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he comes in and helps you and
Yeah.
fights you with them. So it's a 2v1, which looked kind of chaotic because there are bombs everywhere.
It is incredibly chaotic. Like, the first phase you get with it, it's just a 1v1.
Mm-hmm.
He walks in like, yes, you're now going to fight the big bad. He, like, flies around, shoots some lasers. It's not difficult. But then, like, when he's like, I've had enough, we're going to phase 2. He, like, floats in the air. He charges up the same laser that looked like he blasted Altair with. Regulus comes in, literally just kind of pushes him and, like, destroys the Omnicube. And now it's a 2v1.
Yeah. And, all three of you are just running around dropping bombs.
All
Pretty
three
much.
of you are definitely just placing bombs. Like, Regulus doesn't do his little dash attack. He's like, I've got 8 bombs I'm going to drop, and they're going to look really cool right next to each other.
Yep. And Regulus actually helps. Like, he'll actually hit him, which I thought was surprising. Like, you could probably, if you get lucky, sit back and let him do it.
Yeah, because, like, he has unlimited lives, so, like, even if he keeps getting blasted, he's like, we're just going to keep going.
Hell yeah. So, yeah, you beat him, and what happens to Sirius? Do you...
So when you beat him, there's, like, a little animation. It kind of looks like he is falling through the stage a little bit. You hear him kind of scream, like, no, like, evil villain things. And, like, he actually just blows up. It's the most spectacular explosion in the game. Like, it has, like, this kind of, like, prismatic looking background. Like, it has, like, a lot of wind-up time to what the explosion looks like. And he's gone. He's done. The palace starts falling apart. You do, like, your little hooray jump like you do at the end of each level. Regulus picks you up, takes you out.
And he drops you off, and he's like, I dislike you still, but I respect you.
Yes, he... almost, like, verbatim. Like, he's just like, we'll settle this again later, and... you won't in 64, but you will in the sequel.
Sweet. Okay, cool. But yeah, that's Bomberman 64. It was...
Yeah.
I'm playing a lot of long games for the show right now, and it was so nice just to have a little breather. So
A shorter, simpler game. Well,
it's,
somewhat simpler game.
difficult as hell still. But, yeah. I like this game a lot, and I'm excited to check out the other ones.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about Bomberman 64?
I will definitely say that, like, I definitely have a lot of memories with this game. A lot of difficult moments with this game with, like, some of the bosses. That one boss. That one boss.
One boss.
But man, the multiplayer for N64 is definitely where it's at with this game. The campaign's great, and as much as the multiplayer is pretty good on the other Bomberman games for N64, this is the one me and my friends would always go back to.
Okay. Yeah, I play multiplayer on other Bomberman games, but I failed to with this one, so I will be trying it out, messing around with it.
You definitely should. Unlike every other Bomberman game, when you get to multiplayer, there's no grid. It is open just like the campaign mode.
Weird.
So all your bombs are circular, and you get to, like, more free roaming. But they do some really incredible things with, like, the stage designs,
Okay, cool.
where, like, your actual elevation might matter on the stage.
All right. And the game after this is the second attack, right?
Yes.
All right. So I'll probably go to that, then Bomberman Hero.
That's probably a good idea.
I think I remember one of these I played as a kid, and I'm pretty sure it was Bomberman Hero. So,
Yeah, that was the one that started it all for me, honestly.
and
That was the first Bomberman game I played.
is that the last one that came out in 64?
So, with the exception of the Japanese exclusive one,
Okay.
it was Bomberman 64, Bomberman Hero, and then Second Attack.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And is Hero pretty different gameplay than this one?
So, the thing about Bomberman Hero is, in development, it wasn't supposed to be a Bomberman game at first. When they were developing it, I can't remember what IP it was supposed to be. It was another one that Hudson had. But I think someone just kind of walked in and was like, hey, what if we put Bomberman here instead of whatever it was supposed to be? So they just kind of swapped in Bomberman, they changed up the story, and you get the only Bomberman game that feels, gameplay-wise, incredibly disconnected from the rest.
I feel like that happened with a lot of games back in the day. Like, they were making something like, oh, we should slap this on it and make it that kind of game.
Yeah.
Connect it to this franchise so we can get more
Yeah.
money.
I mean, I'm sure in some way they were partially scared of, like, what 3D gaming was going to be, and they were like, we gotta do something that's a little bit less risky because we're making Bomberman Hero.
Right. Yeah.
But it is a great game as well.
Yeah. I played a lot of 64 games, and this is one of them that I was missing, so glad I finally got to play it, and I hope to have you on some more in the future.
Of course, I'll be happy to be back.
Awesome. Alright, thank y'all for listening. Oh, hold up. Is there anything you want to
Yes.
plug?
Ooh.
And I'll put
Yes.
links in the description as well, if you send them to me.
Of course. Well, I guess that'd be my store. So we, my fiance and I actually own a game store down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where we sell tabletop games, board games, and trading card games. So if you're ever in the area, feel free to check out the Rogue Games. We're right there on Airline and Corsi.
Okay, that's what that is. I saw that on your Discord.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. And do you have a website for that or no?
Yes, we do have a website.
Alright, if you want, I'll put that in the description too.
Oh, totally.
Alright, sweet. Thank y'all for listening.